Hello everybody, it is 2026 and we are still playing Generation Zero. So we are currently at, don't hold this against me, I am known to butcher my own first name sometimes. Overby, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to say Overby because that's what I'm used to calling it. I don't think that's the correct pronunciation. It doesn't matter. This is a control point we've established a base at, and we are going to look at this base. I'm going to show you what I've, basically, I'm taking what I've learned over the course of playing this game, the mistakes that I've come across when building bases, and I went through and I just tore down every base that I had and I started rebuilding some bases. So starting with Overby, let me show you what I've done, and this is my logic for building bases. So we're just going to kind of walk through the field here. What is this big thing right here out in the field? All by itself. It's huge, isn't it? So this right here is my base at this location. I'm going to take you closer, of course, here in a second so you can see exactly what's going on. But basically, from a distance right here, as you can see, everything is pretty symmetrical. I have OCD. Things have to be perfect. Things have to match. The walls have to match. If anything is out of order, it peeves me beyond belief. So everything is symmetrical with my bases for the most part. Anyway, from a distance, you can see that basically I have 4 outside wall sets. They're all 3 deep. The reason why I say there's 4 different sets is if you look close right here, you'll see there's an actual opening. And if you look over here, you'll see there's also an actual opening. And on the other sides of this base as well, there are openings, so you can shoot right through one, straight back out the other one. So all 4 sides are open. However, it's just a 1 spot on the grid. Therefore, enemies cannot come through that spot. It's the same as a closed wall to an enemy. So, and I also want you to take note of this right here as well. This is something that I learned over time. If you notice, my turret is way out there, really far away from my base. And I have turrets right here over in the corner, again, separated from my base. They are not on my base walls. There's a reason for this I'm going to explain. Anyway, this turret right here, of course, is guarding this side. It's kind of splitting duties with that one over there. And this turret right here is facing this direction. Notice my turrets, of course, I have traps set in front of them for lynxes, runners that try to run up and try to beat it up. That's not going to happen. They're going to get destroyed by the trap. Now, the bigger machines, the wolves, the harvesters, the tanks, things that are shooting missiles, my turrets are going to have a problem keeping up. So this side's covered. That far side is covered by 2 turrets. This turret right here, also, again, separate from the base, is covering this side over here. And then this turret right here is covering this area over here. So the reason why my turrets are separate from my base is because if you're like me, maybe you still do it, maybe you don't, maybe it's something you learned from, or maybe you were smarter than me and didn't do it in the first place. But as soon as your turrets start shooting at enemies, the enemies aggro those turrets and they do not stop. It is a relentless attack until those turrets are dead. So if you have a turret, and let's say you place it against the wall right here where the base is, and you face it out. Now this kind of makes sense, right? Because here's my base, right? So if I just kind of stick a turret right here, it covers this whole side. It seems pretty reasonable to put one here, right? Because I've got this whole side covered then. However, remember how I just said the enemies will attack the turrets until the turrets are gone? So if you have a turret placed up against your base wall, what's going to happen is that the enemies are going to attack the turret, and what's going to happen is your walls are going to get taken out while they're fighting the turrets. Especially this goes for, again, the big missile shooters, the harvesters, the tanks, the wolves. The wolf, their missile attack is just a barrage of very high-powered missiles that really hurt. And one set of those, despite these being concrete walls, if I have a turret sitting here, and that wolf is targeting the turret, he's going to beat the shit out of my wall, and I'm not going to have walls left. He's probably going to get through 1 layer, if not 2 layers of walls, just from one barrage of missile attacks. So that is why it's important to keep your turrets away from your base. They're almost like a distraction, really. And as you can see, I did protect them. I do have things surrounding this one, so enemies have to go through this first. I have walls built into, so they have to fight through some stuff to get to these turrets. And again, I have traps set too. So for the most part, the turrets are going to make it possibly through an entire base assault mission. So, and if they don't, actually, I'm going to tell you now why. For me, they usually do. Now, this particular location is a furnace location. This is going to be the reason why I have built this base the way I did. I did not build this base with doors. I need quick, easy access. I need to be able to get out here. I need to be able to pick off a couple enemies, pull out my gun, you know, boop, 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 and boop, 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 and run back in and check my furnace. Because the furnace, what is it, every 30 seconds? And I think, what, if you don't get it within 50 seconds or so, you're going to end up with basically charcoal in the end, and you're going to end up without good materials. So every 30 seconds, you got to release the pressure from this. Otherwise, your it's going to overheat, and it's going to mess up your process for refining goods. There's words that I will find eventually. Anyway, so this is why this base is aligned as it is. So basically, I can go from here, outside this wall, straight in, check my furnace. I can go right to the other wall. I can go back out real quick, see if there's any enemies out here. And of course, if I hear a turret going off, this makes it very easy. I just have to figure out the direction where the turret is shooting from. Go out here, pick a few enemies off, and me helping the turrets is what's keeping the turrets alive. And it's so fast. Again, I don't have gates. I don't have some maze I have to walk through. Enemies do not path through here. As you can see, my dog can't even path through here. My dog, by the way, is... Oh, God, so sorry. I have a hair trigger on my controller. Senorita Murder is not very happy with the fact that I almost just murdered her. But nonetheless, as you can see, she can't even path through there. So the smaller enemies cannot go through just a one grid spot. So as I was saying before, this might as well be a closed off wall. This is nothing to the enemy aside from just solid walls all the way around. And again, we have 1 layer, 2 layers, and the outside layer. We have 3 layers of walls, 3 layers of walls. And this base is pretty well built, and it's small, it's compact. I have everything in here that I need. I actually have a little extra space too. Most importantly, I do have a jukebox. We're just going to go ahead and turn that. I hit the wrong button. Let's put that jukebox up really quick because we can not be destroying the jukebox. And let's hit the play button. First song that plays is always my favorite. But anyway, we have everything in here that we need. We have our bike station. We have our companion station. We have all this stuff. We have this right here if you have the DLC, the med station. And it's just, again, it's so easy to walk out, pick a few robots off, walk right back in, and I can get right to my furnace. Nothing in my way. Once again, no doors. And I did place a bunch of trophies around. I placed some decoys on the ground just to, again, to kind of slow up, you know, the enemies from converging on the base. I've run 1 base mission here so far, and they never even got... I think I had like 2 smoking wall pieces, just these little 3x1s right here. I had like 2 of them smoking. They spent so much time on the turrets and they couldn't kill the turrets because it was so easy for me to step out of this base and just shoot a few enemies and walk back in and check my furnace again. So this right here is probably my favorite location for the current rebuilding that I'm doing. Like I said, I've torn everything down. I've restarted. I'm rebuilding everything. But yeah, this right here, I don't even see a need for doors at this point. If an enemy can't path through one section, but I can walk through it, why not just have a bunch of gaps in the walls then, you know? But yeah, so this is the Overby, whatever you want to call it, base. This is my base right here. Again, I do like it. You see the lights are coming on. There are 2 sets of 2 lights in each doorway, if that's what you want to call it. Again, like I said, everything is symmetrical for me as far as building bases. This is just one big square, but again, from a distance you can actually see it's a little more intricate than that. It's 4 different sets of outside walls. I love this base, and I'll show you some more bases later on. If you have any questions about bases, just leave it in the comments down below, or yeah. I mean, that's what this video is for. This video is not just to show off the base, but to talk about base building in 2026, still playing Gen 0. Anybody else who's out there doing the same? Tips and tricks. That's what I'm going to be doing for a little while. Tips and tricks. I've got like 600 hours in this game, and I will probably put another 600 in. So this is where it's at right now. But I guess as they say, like the video if you found it useful. Subscribe to the channel if you like Generation Zero content. I also stream on Twitch, but that's not what the point of this video is. It's really just to say, hey, I'm base building on Generation Zero. It's still a cool thing to do. This is still a very fun game to play. Yes, it has its bugs. Honestly, most of the bugs in this game, though, are pretty much multiplayer related. Outside of that, when you're playing solo, I haven't really run into too many issues. Everything's pretty smooth. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. I will show off another base. I think the next base I'm going to pick to show off is probably going to be the Ruins control point. I love the Ruins. I love it because there's stuff that's already there you can use to your advantage when it comes to building your walls and stuff like that. But anyway, thanks for checking this video out. If you made it this far, I can't believe you did through all this rambling and everything that I did. That's just absolutely amazing. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much.